So, out of the box and onto the table, we have Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Vegito. And are they worth the price? Well, it depends on which your use is for these figures. Now, besides that, if you want my, very quick opinion, let me explain. Flawless. So, as for aesthetic, it's your standard 3.0 Goku / Gohan body style mold. And, it's borrowing the legs from Ultimate Gohan, with the exception of, you get rid of the shoes, you add Goku's boots or you add Vegito's boots, and everything else is pretty par for the course. Now, the only thing I would really add to these figures in terms of aesthetic at this point in time, until, we upgrade to a newer mold, is, some shading to bring out the sculpt a little bit more. But other than that, it is pretty run-of-the-mill. The colors are on point. Everything is fairly on point. I think on Goku's boots, it might be a little, the paint lines could be a little bit cleaner for the red, but other than that, it's solid. So, remember how I said earlier in the video, let me explain? This is the part where I'm going to explain. So, the hair is beautifully sculpted. It has very nice shading. In fact, the shading is kind of subtle, to the point where I'm thinking it could be just the lighting that I have. But the downside to this hair is that it's so damn heavy. Even though it looks beautiful, it's very heavy, and we're gonna come back to this later on in the video. But it's almost, I can see it being a deal breaker, because you want to be able to pose your figure and have fun with it, but the hair takes out a lot of fun factor. Now, what I will say is that, on the bright side, the faces are done nicely. And while we're here, let's move on to accessories. Blang blang, motherfucker. Multiplayer engage. Starting off with the faces, faceplates that are included with both are a stern face and a yelling face. Solo mode, go! Now, as for the different faceplates that Goku comes with, he comes with this cocky, smiling face, looking forward, and of course this zoinks face that he made in the fight versus Kid Buu. As for Vegito, he comes with, your standard gritting teeth face, and then also a cocky, smirking face, looking down, very condescending, befitting of Vegito as a character. As for the hands that they do have in common are fist hands, martial arts pose hands, open palm hands, hands for charging up that old reliable, aka Kamehameha, and respectively, Goku comes with his instant transmission hands, and Vegito comes with what are those hands, aka martial arts show pose hands, aka hands that should be fitting into some type of energy saber. One more thing. Somehow I always forget they both come with a halo accessory. Room. Shambles. To kick off the kit bashes, we have the Super Saiyan Blue Vegito from Premium Bandai Head Sculpt on the Kong Studios body, and it looks pretty good, I can't lie. Once again, what I'm using for this picture is my good man AFM's custom neck conversion pegs. So if you are interested in that, check him out. I'll put a screenshot of his page on the screen, as well as a link to his eBay page in the description. Moving forward, you can apply that same principle to most of these head sculpts besides the Super Saiyan 3 head sculpts. And speaking of that, we have the translucent Super Saiyan 3 head sculpt for the Black Gi Vegito on, of course, the original look for Vegito, which is the blue and orange gi. And it looks pretty good. The hair just probably is one of the best aesthetically looking hairs from this wave. That being said, let's move on to the Gokus. Stop! Okay, so the last two kit bashes I forgot was Super Saiyan 3 Blue Vegito with the, non-battle damage gi hair. And, of course, regular Super Saiyan 3 Vegito with the battle damage gi. And I actually like that a lot. But now we're going to move forward. Next up, we have the Goku kit bashes, and here we go. Starting off with the most mundane of them, we have the Super Saiyan Blue 3 head sculpt. Of course, from the figure, another figure in the wave, the battle damaged version, and it looks good. Looks fine enough. Next up, we have the Fang X Lefma Studio Super Saiyan Blue head sculpt on there. Looks great. Only thing is, articulating it could be an issue. I should have like a mini video playing somewhere on the screen, and it might be the Rose version, but you know, and it's on one of the other molds, but the same principle applies. And also, the mech pack I was using, once again, AFM Customs. And of course, we have the Super Saiyan Rose from that same wave from the Lefma X Fang head sculpts, as well as the regular Super Saiyan. Once again, Lefma X Fang head sculpts. And we also have the Ultra Instinct Goku head sculpt from Tamashii Nations. That actually articulates fairly well, you know, no trouble there. And last but certainly not least, we have the RE Customs or the Re-Customs Historic Battle Windswept Hair head sculpt. And it looks damn good on this mold, you know. I have no complaints at all, you know. But that being said, let's move forward.
But I'm not done yet!
How could I possibly forget the Super Saiyan 3 head sculpt on a battle damaged body? That's what everybody wants to recreate. That scene from Wrath of the Dragon.
Reality is often disappointing.
So real quickly, we're going to run through something I referenced once again earlier in the video with the heavy hair. Because of the heavy hair, a lot of the poses that were promised by Kong Studios initially when they first ever revealed this figure, and we'll see in prototypes of it, a lot of those poses can't be recreated because of the heavy hair. And you know, in my opinion, that was a bit of false advertising, but at this point I think people know what they're getting into when they get these figures. So is it really that big of a deal? Yes, it is for some people, but it seems like a large majority of the people that get these figures, and you know, provided they don't have QC issues like arms popping off or joints breaking, they don't seem to mind the heavy hair all that much. So, you know, you just chalk it up to what it is. But I have, you know, it's up to me to inform you that they can't recreate those poses that we had first seen. That's all.
Wanna see me twist into a pretzel?
Yeah, so that faceplate popping off can be a bit of an issue, you know, when turning the head down, but it hasn't always popped off every time I did that, so just keep that in mind. But I figure I keep the footage anyways, just so y'all know the possibilities. Hey yo, I promise you, the Vegito arm popping off is completely the Vegeta side of the fusion. Vegeta fans, do not at me. Pause. So to the top of Vegito's head, he stands about to the top spike of his hair, roughly 7.5 inches. To the top of his forehead, 5.5 inches. Simon says, alright, so let's just go through the ratings for these figures real quick. For both of them, 8.5 out of 10 in terms of aesthetic. For both, well, for Goku, 8 out of 10 for the articulation. For Vegito, 7.5 out of 10, knocking off a point for, you know, the arm thing. And then, of course, for the accessories, 7.5 out of 10. It's not like anything super duper special, you know. It's a lot of, you know, hands, faces. That's your standard assortment of Dragon Ball accessories nowadays. It's not, you know, over the top. But as far as should you buy these figures, right? Well, it depends on your intentions for these figures. I think there's a much weaker argument for Goku because, like, for example, if you wanted to buy him and, you know, just for the Super Saiyan 3, well, of course you would buy him for Super Saiyan 3, but the hair is so heavy that I think it impedes upon the fun. Now, if you want to buy him just because of the body mold, that's a little different. And even then, I would say go with the demoniacal fit forever martialist, right? Because that's a cheaper option and more easily accessible, and it's on the 3.0 mold as well, so you can't go wrong with that. For Vegito, it's a little different because Vegito has so many head sculpt kits coming out for him, and the only updated Vegito mold at this point in time is by Kong Studio or Beast Deity, which, funny enough, they just had a re-release under the banner of Beast Deity in terms of these figures, and you know, that makes the price a bit more cheaper. So I've seen some prices like in a $115 range or something like that, $80 range, but you know, Beast Deity figures can be very, very expensive in the aftermarket. I think we got lucky with this right here because, you know, it was a re-release. So, you know, people had some prior, like this first release right here, and then new release came out and it helped to bump the price down a little bit. But there's also the option of just waiting for OC Toys. But I know a lot of us are not very patient. Now, OC Toys is doing head sculpts. They have a set of head sculpts coming out for this body mold, and I think you could use it on the 2.0 mold if you want to as well. But OC Toys also is developing their own Vegito, where, you know, it's going to be the full figure, so you could wait for that, but there's no confirmation on when that's actually coming out. So, you know, you could wait if you want, but like I said, I know that a lot of us collectors are impatient. So, you know, do what you want with your money. If you got money like that to pay for these figures, then go for it. If you don't, you don't. Ultimately, I just wanted to show y'all what the figures were about, so y'all could come to a decision on your own. But with all that being said, I'm always grateful for the support. I'm sorry for the lateness. And until next time, this has been Bombastic Plastic. Stay fantastic.